there are times when we say, when is our responsibility? And the most, I think, the core of all things was, if we don't start to take care of the earth, even though we might claim or to say the government is not doing well, we want money, but if we are not being responsible, it doesn't make any difference no matter how much money you can get from funding. So what we started, it was clean up campaign to clean our own community. And from there, we didn't know much, we were just young people. I funded the organization with my brother and young other people around the community. And we thought that we need to bring back our humanity, because if we're making trash, if we identifying our communities and putting our life into risk, our health into risk, we need to be responsible for that. So after collecting all the trashes, we had to find a way that what we do with the trashes, and we had to start to recycle. And all that it was for us, we had to do it ourselves and think how we do with that. So we started the recycling club, and from there were new developments, and there was more information that we were seeking, more things that we wanted to be interested in getting involved in, and that's how the food garden organization started within the community. But then there was more question, what kind of agriculture we wanted to do. In particular, the challenge was, I'm from Soweto, which is the ghetto. It's like in an urban area. And so agriculture is not something that we can associate with. So we're doing something that is odd, that people were not interested in, especially for people from from Soweto don't know anything about agriculture. It's meant for, supposedly it's for poor people and people from the rural area. So we had to educate people that food doesn't come from a tin or from grocery stores, but you can manufacture, you can make your own food. And you save a lot of things. You start also to learn, you get knowledge about where our food comes from, because many of children today don't even know how food get to be grown. So those are the challenges we were faced with, and those are things that we had also to learn from. And so that we started to do organic farming, for the reason that we didn't just want to buy food that are always with chemicals produced, the GMOs. So there was a lot of information through the process that we got through. We didn't know anything about GMOs, we didn't know much about organic, even though we knew that farming is there, but we didn't know what kind of techniques. And for us, it was very beneficial, because also by networking with other organizations, because that was more important, because that's how we got it.
Now people are cultivating by themselves, and
we are definitely, but what we do, because we don't have land, in the urban areas, it's like your own city houses. So we had to be smart, because in the black school communities, we have facilities for sports, but we don't have sports facilities. So there's land in schools or government buildings where there's supposed to be for sports development for school children going. So we asked the school principals to allow us to use the land, because we don't have land to cultivate. Unfortunately, I have pictures in my memory sticker, but if you have a laptop, I will be able to show you what we do. So that's the land that we have, and so we use that land, no matter how small it is, to grow as much as we can, because not only do we have to always concentrate on food, but also we need to learn that it's so very important that we need to also to know about herbal resources, vegetables. Also, not only just, even though there might be international herbal medicine that can help me, but what about my native trees and native herbs? So those are the things that we do, and to have everything together.
I'm very happy to hear that, since it is very similar to my work in India, and it is a different culture, what we say. India people here, I myself is a tribal, and I'm working also with the tribal communities, and the place where we are working, that is 3 states, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Orissa. That is a full of the tribal belt, and in tribal belt, majority of population is of tribals, and one of the very significant things is that tribals are very much closely related to 4 elements, that is jal, jungle, zameen, and animals. That means animals, forest, land, water. These are the very much element for the tribal's life, and they are very closely related to these, and their life has been very much dependent in that. And now the situation has changed, and people cultivate from the very early years. But now the development taking place, the globalization is taking place, then government also wants to introduce in the area, tribal belt, very come in and extract all these natural resources, even to make a very big for the security pilot projects.
Maybe my interest would be, how do you save water? Because I know there's a challenge with clean water, even within our country, but it's far more better compared to your country as far as I really understand. How do you get clean water? How do you make sure that you can manage to have clean water? And how do you save your seeds? Where do you get your seeds when you plant your freebies, your weeds?
Since we have, there is no shortage of water. We have plenty of water in the nature as well as flowing rivers, very rich in this, in water resource when we see. Even the groundwater is very much available. So in that way, every house have a well, and the tube well, some of those who are advanced, they have their tube well. Otherwise, the traditionally, usually people use the well, which the community builds. The whole community comes together, builds for it, maybe
around the well, so that they could be able to. But how do you make that water from the well or water from the river that it could be contaminated? How do you clean your water? How do you get clean water, drinkable water?
Usually, the people in the village, they do not have very technical way of preserving or clean water, but very simple method. That is, people before using, they boil the water. Boil the water, and that boiled water is being used. Or anything that is usually they cultivation is rice, roots, different kinds of roots, minerals, and these have been cooked. That is boiled and cooked, so it is consumed. So it's already boiled water is being cooked. That is one of the common method which people use. Now in the cities when they are coming, when there is a purification of the water.
As representing as a founder also of the community youth group, I'm also advocating and networking with other youth organizations from different countries, who are here to really, who are particularly involved into agriculture or small agribusiness, to say, yes, it's important to do all this agriculture, but it's very important for us to save our seeds. And the GMO seeds, how if not so supportive for us to continue to, to buy the GMO seeds as it's cost effective and for yielding also for the cost. So the education system for me to advocate for people to say it's time to save the seeds, particularly also into planting native, whatever that is native within our communities, to educate people. Because a lot of vegetables that I hear from my mother that they used to have, but I don't know, I haven't seen. So those are things. And what do you do in terms of saving the seed?
That is very traditional way of saving. That is whatever the cultivation is there. Since it is not modernized, it is a traditional seeds which they are using from the law, and that could be preserved and they can use. Now the hybrid seed and all these things we cannot preserve and keep for the next cultivation. You finish by another hybrid seed, you cultivate again. It is not like that. Since they are using manure also local, they have animals. The cultivation there is no tractor and like this technology. Animals, plenty of animals are there. So animals' powders are being used for the manure, and that manure and then the cultivation. So after cultivating one thing, when they harvest and then bring back, then first they will take out certain part of the seed, which whatever seed they have cultivated, keep it separate for the next year for the saving. Nicely dry it, pack it with the different kinds of things are there, local things, and then keep it separate. And then they will make sure it is dry. For the seed they will keep it for the next, and then they will consume.
Very interesting, because that's my passion, because I'm here to learn. I